The Church of Mavis Radio Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m., 7 Central, starring Jeffrey Pritchett with his co-hosts Wham and Jay McNicholas, right here on the United Paranormal Radio Network, UPRN 107.7 FM, New Orleans.
Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fiestro, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday night edition of Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. Good evening, Miss Heidi. Good to see you. Couple announcements I want to make before I get the show going. I don't know how they might 2 or 3. Cindy, Michelle, good to see you. Thank you for coming on. First announcement is what I want to make is I want to first of all thank UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 New Orleans, 107.7 Mississippi for allowing me to share my 1 hour and on a Tuesday night and on a Sunday night. I also want to thank Carnation for sponsoring the show too. So I'm really happy for that. And I'm really grateful for all the people who are jumping in the chat room who I call dear friends. Okay. Tomorrow night, me, Sean Kelly, is going to be on UFO Undercover, along with my cousin, Jake Lazaro. He's the young kid. He's my cousin. He was the young kid that came on my show, and we did an interview with him about his production and his writing. Well, he's jumping on Joe's show, Joe Montaldo's show, UFO Undercover, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. It's a 2-hour show, so if you're not doing anything tomorrow, please come on and listen to me, my cousin, Joe, everybody else that's going to be on there. I'll try to get links to the show. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but it's going to be a great show. I mean, my cousin's only 27 years old, and I mean, he got a couple awards already for the little movies that he has shot and the different writing and producing that he does, which I think is like totally cool. Really is. Tonight's going to be a touchy subject. Okay, I'm going to be straight up with you. We're going to talk about life and death. Okay, and if you feel like you cannot listen to the show tonight, or if something strikes a nerve with you, please, you don't have to be on the listening to the show. I don't know how this is going to go, but my concern is for your mental health tonight. The reason why I brought this topic up tonight is because, a lot of people around me, and I really believe that, the world that I grew up in, okay, is dying. And I think it died because everything has changed over. Everything's totally different now. And I'm having a hard time accepting that, I mean, I could be male egotistical Sean Kelly here and say, I have no problem with it, but I do. Hey, Karen, good to see you, honey. Welcome to the show. And I have a hard time, knowing that the old way, the way I grew up, is just dying. Everything's brand new. Growing up, we never had computers. We didn't have Apple phones. We didn't have none of that crap. If we had to study, we had to go to in the Wicca and the encyclopedias, and you had to go to the library. You had to learn, instead of going on the computer and finding what library book you want to read, all this, you had to go back and look at all these library. I forget what they were called, but cards, and I mean, there's zillions of cards, especially if it was a really big library. You had to search the author's name and you had to search the book's name. And oh my gosh, it was crazy. And that's why I choose Death Tonight and Life. Okay, I don't know where this show is going to take it. Okay, so if anybody out there, you are willing to participate in the chat room, it's all pretty cool. But if you can't handle it, you know what? That's okay. We're good. Everything will be okay. I will totally understand if you had to leave. But Heidi says, yes, it is so different, So what is death? What is death? Death could be a good thing. Death could be a bad thing. Death is very powerful. It's very powerful to our emotions. When somebody you love passes away, they die. When a transformation, thank you, Heidi. Let it go. If you look at the animal spirits, right? A lot of snakes would appear in your life because, with the snake, it sheds its skin. And according to the Native American, is when a snake sheds its skin, it's a new life. So transformation is huge. Karen says death is change. It is change. I mean, I don't know about you guys out there, but I know for me, change sucks. Okay. And it's real hard to get into the flow of things for me. But I always seem like I go back the way it was when I was there, before this big change happened. And to me, life was happy back then. Life was great, did what I wanted to do. I fell into a rhythm, and it just suited me very, very great. Heidi says, I'm very uncomfortable with change, but after the fact, I'm usually good. Thank you for sharing that, Heidi. Well, for me, but after the fact, it's hard. It really, really is hard. And when I speak that, I speak of myself. What I go through. You have a death of a loved one, come death of a loved one, there's a lot of grieving in that, And my dad passed away in 1986, November 3rd, 1986. And a lot of people have asked me, they said, well, why don't you grieve for your dad? And because he's gone, he died. And to be honest with you all, I haven't really grieved my dad's death. I know other people out there have grieved. But my dad was my rock. I was 24 years old when my dad died. And sometimes I just get really, at one point in time, I got mad at him. I said, Dad, you left me at a young age. And then I flipped the script. Instead of getting mad at my dad, I got mad at, God, my higher power. And saying, why'd you let this happen? He was a good dude. He was only 52. Michelle says, I have some loss, both parents, 2 sisters, and husband. My condolences, Michelle. And it got me so mad because that was a change for me. 24 years old, not having a dad, and I learned the hard way. I did. And I had nobody there to follow or to ask. Dennis Cote says, I was 25. I never grieved for my dad either. Thank you for sharing that, Dennis. Scotsman. Hello, brother. Just dropping in to say, hey, I'm glad you dropped in, my friend. I'm glad you dropped in. It's always good to see you, Squatch. Dennis, it's really crazy, not to grieve. But he died. And I don't want to say it destroyed me. It just like threw me into this world where I had to learn everything on my own. And thank you, Michelle. And you know what? And that's why life was tough, but everything was okay. And it's like, and then it all changed. It all changed. I was a massive compulsive alcoholic, a compulsive gambler. And that's how I escaped. Squatsman says, I lost all my family in 3 years, still a little lost. My condolences, Squats. Dennis says, lost my mother at the age of 5. Real tough life. I know, isn't it, Dennis? It is. Hey, Kaysen, good to see you, buddy. That's my buddy, Kaysen. He's from Sri Lanka. But you know what? When he died, my world died, to be honest with you. And that was the hard thing for me to accept that when he died. And at that point in time, I did everything I could to bring life back into me again in order me to search for that love that I had with my dad. And I always looked in the wrong places and I always hooked up with the wrong people. And it's like, wow. And I would get crapped on, and it just seems like, hey, new life, met a friend, met my wife, the whole 9 yards. Okay, so that was like being reborn again. And then in the drop of a bucket, it all went away again. So whatever I had and went away, it died. And a little piece of me died. No matter what I did, nothing went right. Nothing went right with that. And now I look at death as a godsend. Being in the paranormal field, and dealing with spirits, a lot of spirits, okay? And going to the clients that they, that have experience and had their family members in the house, whatever, right? But and just listening to all my clients talk about the death and how they miss their people, how they miss their moms, their dads, their grandmothers, their great grandmas, and it really shook them to the core. Just like when my father died, it shook me to the core. Can we learn anything from that? Is there anything out there at all we can learn? Or is it when something dies that we got to start all over again? And you cannot make up for what you learned from the situation or the thing that just passed away, and it's real hard to get back on that track again. It really is. And it's like, oh hell, here we go again. And then all along with the depression coming in, and all the sadness coming in, and all, thinking of the suicides, anything. At one point in time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not afraid to say this, but at one point in time, I didn't want to be here no more. It was just like everything was gone. Everything I loved truly was gone. And then I would look up in the sky and I would say to myself, you know what, big man up there? What the hell are you doing to me? Why are you putting people, places, and things in my life for this moment? And then you take them away. And I was so mad at God for that. I'm so mad. I said, I'm tired of you taking crap away from me. All the things that made me happy, you took away. Michelle says, I didn't grieve. I used hard drugs until I got sober. I don't know if I grieved or if it just gets easier over time. Thank you for sharing that, Michelle. But for me, I did drink. I was a compulsive drinker, and I drank a lot after my father died. Well, I drank a lot before he died. And I got sober at the age of 27. No, I'm sorry, 28. January 21st, 1991 is my sobriety date. And but when I was drinking, getting close to the end, I would drown my sorrows about my father, okay, in beer and alcohol. But I really wouldn't consider that grieving for me, Michelle. I really wouldn't have. And then I tried to grieve, and that was the crazy part about it for me, was I tried to grieve, but it just seems like I can't. Thank you, Michelle. Kaysen saying I'm still tapering off Klonopin. It sucks. You'll get there, Kaysen. I'm telling you, brother. I'm getting there. Stone said, hey, Stoney, good to see you. That's my fun. That's my buddy. Yeah. Lost my son to sudden infant death syndrome at 10 and a half months. That opened my eyes to other beings. When my mother died, I didn't feel shit. Had so much stuff around me, I changed my perception of it. Thank you for sharing that stuff. But I tell you what really helped me the most, honestly, everybody, to deal with it, was when I started paranormal investigating. Because dealing with spirits, dealing with ghosts, dealing with people's emotions, dealing with spirits' emotions. Heidi says, I broke down years after my mom passed. My mom also told me to never be sad when she's gone. She had MS for 38 years. God bless her, Heidi. God bless you. Good to see you too, darling. And it just, I just lost my train of thought. Thanks for my ADHD. But doing spiritual stuff, doing the paranormal really helped me learn to know that when somebody dies now, or all the people who I have lost in my past are actually spirits now. And they didn't leave. They haven't left. The only thing different is that they're in their world and their spirit is there. Now look at this, my skin, my body, my eyes, my face. Okay? That's just a clone. That's not a clone. I used to call them. It's just like a pod, like peas in a pod. It's a pod. It's what I have on right now. But when I pass, the pod goes away, and my spirit within me goes out there. And it took me a long time to realize that. Seriously. It took me a long time. So, death, it could be good, could be bad. I don't know. But I know in today's world, my old world died. And I don't like the new world that we are in now. Skin suit. Thank you, Cindy. Kaysen goes, when my mom died, it was like I stepped into another dimension. I honestly thought I was dreaming and I'll wake up. Whoa, I didn't even think about that later, Kaysen. That's an interesting thing. Never thought about that. So, with this new world, who knows where it's going to go? And what's crazy is that, we're changing every day. All kinds of change. And I guess I have to be there, and you guys have to be there when the change comes. Stoney says a combination of NDE, OBE spirits, and other entities being about to recognize when they are communicating. I don't fear it. And I work supporting others through grieving. God bless you, Stone. You're a blessing to everybody. You really are. You are. And so is Heidi. So is Cindy. So is Casey. Dennis says, everything is energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. We are energy, and when we die, we enter the next form on the next plane. So true, Dennis. Thank you I'm going to put that up here so people who's watching can see that. It says, everything is energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. We are energy, and when we die, we enter the next form on the next plane. And which is true. If I only knew back then what I know now, I believe everything would be a hell of a lot better. And then you got what, to me, okay, people out there who, we all are light energy. And I'm telling you what, okay, the people I have in my chat room, my friends, are the brightest of lights. And I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. I really do. If you put all our light together, okay, put it all together, oh my gosh, we could light up the United States plus a little bit of New Zealand. I would guarantee it, because the people who are here in my chat room are my friends, and it just makes me feel good. At one point in time, I didn't want to do this no more. I did not want to do, this podcasting or nothing like that, because I was dying inside. Ooh, Stone. My orbs have shown me they don't see our mortal coil, but our light energy. Thank you all the way from New Zealand. Wink, wink. But it's true, Stone. It's true, Heidi, Cindy, every one of y'all. So, any of you tarot readers out there, I don't know what you think of the death card, but it seems like whenever the death card actually comes up, people are going to say, oh my God, somebody's going to die. I don't think that it is. Well, I think the death card is a rebirth. So we can actually look at death as a rebirth too. That's how I feel. But see, I didn't know none of this crap back then. I didn't. All I know is that death was there. Everything was dying around me. Yes, ma'am, death card. 100%, Dennis. Thank you. Cindy says, yes, we can, Sonas. You have an amazing group of gifted friends. You know what, Cindy? Amen to that, sister, because yes, I do. I have a lot of amazing people and gifted friends. I really do. Karen says, the death card sometimes ends, then something new comes, a beginning, a brand new, and you know, that's awesome. That's great. I mean, think about it. You know, good. Michelle says, "Good to know. I'm not the only one that struggled with loss." No, Michelle, you have, and a lot of people have. But I believe, Michelle, that a lot of people are afraid to express it, and that's my own feeling on that. But it got to the point in my life where whatever's bothering me, I'm going to express it. And a lot of people say, "Oh, you're just trying to get attention. You're just being egotistical, blah, 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 blah." That's not true. Because the more I hold on to bad things or negative things, and if I don't talk about it, then it's just going to get a lot worse for me, you know, a lot worse. Give me ulcers and stuff, and I don't want those things, you know. But here we go. We're here. Everything's going to die. Death is going to be here, no matter if it's your job, if it's somebody you love, your pet, whatever. Death is inevitable. It is. But how we deal with that is really, if you look at it, that could be the topic, how we deal with that. Kaysen says, "Oh, I'm still struggling with my mom's death. It's been over a year now." And it's okay to struggle, Kaysen, but you know, we talked a lot, and you know, please have somebody there to talk to. Honest to God, please. You're my friend. I don't want to see you go crazy again. I care for you, Kaysen. I really do. But how we deal with the death, that's the big question mark. You know, and I know for a fact down the road, there's going to be more death. More death. But it seems like I really need to learn how to deal with it, dude. Seriously. And you know what? Maybe I'll get there, maybe not. I don't know. But I know that I have all my friends here in my chat room. I have all my amazing spiritual friends, everybody out there. You know, they'll pick me up, even though we don't talk. I don't know about you guys, but I can actually feel your energy sometimes. And that's the truth. I do believe that. You know, sometimes I have a show and I'm feeling a little down, you know, and the people are in my chat room, honest to God, they just flourish. They just send their energy. They don't even send it. It just like pulsates off the computer, which is like really cool, you know, and I thank you all for that. I do. So we are coming up on the 30-minute mark, which means I'm going to run a couple commercials. Okay. I think we can say that death is real. The only thing we need to learn how to do is to deal with the situation. And if you have friends like I got friends, you're going to make it. I believe it. Cindy says, "I love your energy, Sean." Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate that. Yours is not bad either. And we can all deal with it. We can all deal with death and help people move on. Our friends, our loved ones. And even help the spirits of our loved ones move on too. Okay? Well, I'm going to go to my 70-second commercial. If you have to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. Smoke a cigarette, do what you got to do. Okay? And in 70 seconds, everybody, we'll be back. And let me find the music. And here we go. Hey, everybody, welcome to the second part of the show. Host of the night, me, into the night, Sean Kelly, and my wonderful people in the chat room. And want to thank UPR and Talk Radio 105.3 New Orleans, 107.7 Mississippi. I also want to thank Carnation. And again, I want to remind you that tomorrow night on this platform, I will be on UFO Undercover with Joe Montaldo. And I'm going to have my cousin, Jake Lazaro, the producer, film producer, who was on my show. He's going to be on with us, and he's a special guest that night, tomorrow night. And if you're not doing anything, please come on and watch us, because it is a good show. It starts 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central Time. And it's a 2-hour show. Please be there. That would be great to see everybody here and give us support. That would be awesome. Heidi says mental health back in the day was unspoken, true, and I think now it's more openly discussed, which I think is a major change, which comes into, the second part of life. Stone says, love your shirt, Sean. I'm always wearing khaki green, but instead of paint on it, I have bleach spots. Hey, you know what? It looks pretty good. I really do have a bad habit at bleaching my shirts and my pants. But that's okay. Bleach stuff is good. Yes. It looks like a bunch of little ghosts on it. But the first half hour of the show, we talked about death and how we deal with it, what kind of deaths were there, and I got a lot of good people talking about stuff in the chat room about that. And you know what? We're going to go into the second part of the show, which is life. And I'd like to start off with what Heidi said. Their mental health back in the day was unspoken. And I think now it's more openly discussed. Heidi says it does. Yes, it does. Looks like a bird made you a lucky chap. You're cute. That's cute. But now we're talking about life now. And life, life, what is life? And I was listening to the George Harrison song, What is Life? If you ever get the chance and you're bored, go to YouTube and just type it in, What is Life by George Harrison. That's a pick-me-up song, you know what I mean? And to me, life is great, okay? I mean, like today, in my garden this year, in the garden I had last year, I planted a seed in dirt. I got tomatoes, I got potatoes, I got green beans. I even got some lettuce, which was surprisingly good. Had a little hard time on the cauliflower. I got a lot of green leaves on the cauliflower, but no cauliflowers. Had a lot of nice, decent green peppers and stuff like that. Kaysen says, yeah, Sean has a very calming vibes, and that doesn't come without a life with lots of hurdles. That's why I want to listen to Sean's life story. I will tell you, if you would like to hear my life story, Kaysen, I'll do that for you next Sunday. Okay, if you want. If anybody's interested all about me. Hey, Joe Fox. Hey, Sean, had to work over tonight. It's okay, my friend. You're here. It's all that counts, my friend. But if you guys want to hear about my life next Sunday, I will tell you about my life to the best of my acknowledgement. Okay? That's if you want to hear it. But Kaysen has asked me 2 weeks in a row, and I'll do a little bit of it. Okay? So for you, Kaysen, I will definitely do that for you. But, yeah, no doubt. I will, Kaysen. No sweat. But life, like I was saying before, I planted a garden, potatoes, peppers, lettuce. Joe says I do want to hear also. That'd be great. That would be great to hear. that you guys would be here. And I just planted seeds, man. And all of a sudden, like 6 weeks later, there started little green sprouts, and the seed turned into vegetables, man. And that is life, man. Cindy says, yes, we sure do want to hear your life story. Okay. Wow. I don't know. I'm heart's palpitating, whatever you want to call it. I will definitely do that for everybody next Sunday. But that's life. Life is when a baby's born. Life is when you wake up in the morning and you see the sunshine. Or if you're out west in Washington State or Oregon, you wake up and you see it rain. I had to throw that one in there, Heidi. But whatever it is, when you wake up, you start life again. Life is when you see little babies running in the park, or children playing with their parents. And then you go outside and you breathe in the wonderful air out there, the clean air. And you're just happy. Life is happy. Sometimes life can throw you a monkey wrench into the situations that you are in. Okay? But you know what? You're still alive. And then if you're having a hard time dealing with that monkey wrench, that's why you got friends that you can literally talk to about. And it's nice to have friends. It really is. And you've got good friends. And even, people say you got acquaintances. That's okay. At least you have someone you can chat with. Now, it's kind of hard to find a true one you can really share your feelings with. But you know what? You got to let it go. You got to let it go. So, Case and Joe, Heidi, Cindy, Karen, what's life mean to you? Please tell me, what does life mean to you too? I would like to hear what you all have to say about it. When the sun rises, plants, animals, trees, everything grows. And just the sight of it is like, wow. God, or whoever you believe in. It could be Buddha, it could be God, it could be whoever you feel in touch with, is giving this to you so you can enjoy it. Okay, here we go. Heidi says, love it, to nature and love, pets, dancing in the rain. I did that before a long time ago. Talking about bad luck for me, Cindy, on dancing in the rain. Okay, I'm out there dancing. It was a nice day, dancing in the rain, having a lot of fun, and would you know it, the next day I got a cold, which turned into a fever, and I got sick for 2 or 3 days. So, think about it, right? I'm out there dancing in the rain, having a good time, and then life threw that monkey wrench into my ass and said, okay, now since you have fun, we're going to throw, let you be sick for a while. Stoney says, I had to investigate my shadow emotions when my son died. I dressed him and took him out shopping because I couldn't leave my infant at home on his own. My mind was still being a mother. Kaysen says, I have an unpopular opinion about life, and I'm not sure people will vibe with it. Kaysen, share it. You can share that. Whatever you want to share, please share it here. Let it go, man. Tell us. We're not going to laugh at you. We would love to hear it. see what, come on and share it, my friend. Joe says life is a double-edged sword for sure. Of course it is. Of course it is. But let me ask you this question, guys, ladies and gents. What keeps us going? What keeps us going? Is it the change? Is it something better going to happen the following day? Are we going to live in the same route that we are? Life is amazing. Yes, it is, though. But you know, why do we still live? I mean, you know, according to a lot of people, you know, your date is when you're going to die. You know, it was already written before you were born. Stone says, what an adventure it's turned out to be. Joe Fox says, I suffer from depression. I'm not being medically treated, but I haven't ruled it out. Michelle said 7 kids. Heidi says, I'm a single mom. I could never leave my kids. You know, my son, you know, I'm getting close to the end here, but my son was my life. I'm going to share a couple things with you about my son. And this is part of the story, but I need to share it. When my son was born, the doctors put him in my hands. Okay, in my arms like that. I was looking down at him. He opened his tiny little eyes and he looked up at me and he smiled. And then he went back to sleep. And right there, when he smiled at me, the minute after he was born, I knew the connection was there. And so that very same day, I made a promise to him, and I promised to God, and I made that promise to myself that I would tell him every day that I love him. Okay? And this is like really important because what I say about, you know, find a person, find your parents, find your children, tell them that you love them. I did that when he was born. And do you know, to this day, I mean, he's going to be 34 in 2 days. 34 years old. I'm an old fart. But no matter where we're at, no matter what we're on the phone, whatever, he always tells me that he loves me. And to me, that is the thing that keeps me going. It just makes me smile. I remember one time I forgot to tell him that, you know, I loved him, and when we hung up, he called me back right away and he said to me, Dad, you forgot something. I said, well, what did I forget? He said, you forgot to tell me that you love me. He said this when he was 32 years old. And I was like, oh boy, I love you. I really do. But that's love. That's how much important that my son means to me. You know? And he came out, you know, my son is gay. And he was so afraid. He was so afraid to tell me. And when we went out to dinner and we parked the car, he said, Dad, I have something to tell you. I said, okay, what is it, buddy? He said, I'm gay. And I said, I love you. It's okay. We kind of knew that you were. But that's not going to stop me from loving you. It's not going to stop me from telling you, no, you can't be. And it just seems like that our relationship got a lot stronger. And you could just see the relief coming off his eyes, off him. It's just like a whole big weight just lifted off his shoulders. Oh, okay, we have some stuff here. Stone says, we have magic on so many levels. We are able to communicate without words, leave imprints within time. I'll just ask, how do you think about the finding that self-awareness or conscience is created by 4 neurons in the brain? Heidi gives hearts. Michelle says 2 biological, 5 nieces, nephew, my sister passed. My condolences, Michelle. You know what, Kason, if I had an answer for you, I would give it to you. I'm really not really big in, in the scientific with neurons and stuff like that. Maybe somebody out there in the chat room could help you with that, or maybe I'll try to find you an answer. But if it happens if by these four neurons, God bless us, I guess. I just don't have a really good answer for you on that one. But maybe there'll be somebody else out there that might have something out there for you, my friend. But yeah, my son is my life. He's my heart. And God really looked down upon me to give me my son Paul. And that might sound a little corny, but it's not corny to me because I wasn't a good person a long time ago. Kaysen says, I had a friend who is gay, and he's one of the compassionate people I've met. Yes, they are. They are. Of course they are. My son is very compassionate. His partner is very compassionate. All the people that he hangs out with are compassionate. They are good people. Joe says, God bless you, Sean. I am very empathetic. I can tell you a beautiful soul. I think the main reason I ran into you in this existence. Oh my goodness, thank you, Joe. And I believe that you have a good soul too, just like Heidi, Kaysen, Stoney, Cindy, Michelle. Everything happens for a reason, And they do say that people attract. Thank you, Heidi. You are too, hon. And it just seems like people who are attracted to each other, and that's great. And we all attract to each other. Let's see, where are we at here? New treatment, EMDR therapy to create new pathways in brain. Works for trauma and depression. I did not know that, Michelle. I really would like and wish that would have been brought up more or thought a lot more about the science part of the situation. But I can only share with you from my side and the spiritual. But I will tell you this, everybody. I think we had a decent show tonight. I didn't know how the show was going to go. And I'm very grateful that you all stopped into the chat room tonight. I am I'm truly blessed. And I really, really am to have friends like you who send me messages just to see how I'm doing, or if I miss something, or just to say hello. That's life. That's life. And it's good. And it's good to have life. And it's good, the monkey wrenches that come at you. Gratitude for connecting, 100%. Yes, ma'am. But we survived everything that has been thrown at us. And I guess we're going to continue moving forward and dealing with whatever's thrown at us. But I know for a damn fact that I can count on all my people out there who listen to the show, who are in the chat room, who do talk and share. Michelle says, thank you. Looking forward to hearing your story, Sean. Stoney says, thank you all for sharing this space and being part of my adventure. Make good memories. You're all fantastic creators. Stoney, thank you so much for saying that. And you took the words right out of my mouth, honey. And that is so true. Stoney says again, thank you for sharing this space and being part of my adventure. Make good memories with all fantastic creators. And Heidi says, thank you all. Well, it's that time that we must say goodbye. what Carol Burnett used to do. She used to do that to her ear for her mom. But next week, next Sunday, I will give you my life story on here. Okay? I'll tell you my life story. And you'll get to know all that money. All that money, yeah, right. You'll hear a lot of it. And I'm really looking forward to doing it. Thank you, Kaysen, for bringing that up again. I just hope you're here. Children, if you can, please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children and tell them that you love them. And if you don't have no children, if you have no family, no parents, find somebody, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. Because those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central Time, I will be on UFO Undercover with Joe Montaldo, and it's on this platform. And I will try to get links out to the show. We're going to have my cousin on, Jake Lazaro, so I'm sure he would love to see you all there. Good night from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I shall see you all next Sunday. Happy hunting.